Uh-oh, this one.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. There we go.
So Mr. Rubber Spain and
I know,
Mr.
he's
International
causing
Rubber.
trouble.
Don't you all know? Isn't that's what the thing about rubber is causing trouble?
I suppose. And it's really nice because if he spills his drink on me, it just runs right off.
There you go. You can't really say that with leather.
Exactly.
So, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing really good. Thank you. Ich muss erstmal sagen, hallo und viele Grüße aus Berlin und dies ist jetzt Folsom Europe. My name is Jeffrey and I'm the Gummibärchen. I'm from Chicago, Illinois in the United States, and I'm the current Mr. International Rubber 19.
Okay. And the only thing I will ask you to do is kind of speak up so people can hear.
Sure, absolutely.
So I know you have a soft voice, but we want to hear you, not them.
That's the only thing that's subtle about me, so alright, I'll try to be louder.
So welcome to Folsom EU.
Thank you.
Europe. How has your experience been?
I love it. This is a really great community. It's really great to have a meeting place for so many people from across the continent, but also throughout the world. I've gotten a chance to meet not only rubbermen, but leathermen and puppies and people from all over that are coming here for this. So it's been great to meet everybody, and of course the parties have been a lot of fun too. So.
Okay. Is this your first Folsom Berlin?
This is my first Folsom Berlin. I've been to Folsom in San Francisco a few times, and I've been to Berlin just on vacation, but this is my first major fetish event in Europe.
Okay. So what's the difference, if any, to you from Folsom Street San Francisco and Folsom Street Berlin?
I would say I think I love Folsom San Francisco. It's a great time. It's a great chance to meet everybody, but it tends to be a lot of people from the United States and North America, and I'm getting a chance to meet a lot of Europeans that I normally wouldn't have a chance to meet. Also, I think it's a little more liberal here. Certainly very, very sex positive. So it's great to see so many people embracing their sexuality and their fetish so openly. So,
do you plan on going to Folsom this year in San Francisco?
Fingers crossed. I hope I can make it work. I would love to be in San Francisco this year. I've got a lot of rubber friends out there. Big props to San Francisco Rubbermen and the Rubber Women of San Francisco. So I love you both.
Yay! So what was the most defining moment of your life that brought you into the kink, leather, and rubber community?
Oh gosh, okay. So I tell everybody my first experience with rubber was in my hometown at IML. So several years ago I attended IML for the first time, and I was a closeted kinkster, if you will, so I wasn't very open with my kink. And I was going around IML and experiencing that, and I felt really out of place. I admired and loved the aesthetic that a lot of these sexy leathermen were presenting, but that wasn't really me. And I didn't feel like I belonged there. And it wasn't until I rounded a corner in the marketplace and I saw a rubber booth. And I was attracted, obviously, first by the color. I'm a little bright, if you didn't notice. But I love the color, I love the fit, I love the sort of athleticism. And rubber, to me, just opens up a world of possibilities in terms of self-expression. So I really, that's my first major experience with rubber, and that's how I got started.
So rubber obviously is more than just black.
Absolutely. Rubber's more than black, but rubber's more than latex, too. I'm a super latex enthusiast. I love latex, and you'll see it a lot on a lot of people. But I love neoprene, I love industrial rubber. So you shouldn't limit yourself. If you're interested in rubber, there's more to rubber than just latex.
Okay. And so obviously most people, when they associate rubber, they're mostly associating with latex?
Yeah, I mean, latex is really common. But if you're just starting out and you're interested in rubber and maybe you don't have beaucoup bucks for like a fabulous outfit or something, start something small. Get a small piece of rubber, a small piece of latex, or you could always get neoprene. Neoprene's super easy to maintain and take care of, and the fit is great, the smell is nice, and it's a lot of fun to wear out.
Okay. So, obviously wearing rubber gives you so much to be able to do with it. You have gummy bears all over you.
I do.
What do you flag?
Oh, Jesus. Well, I wish I had a creative answer, because I feel like I need like a a big piece of mylar hanging out of my right pocket or something. But I'm kind of a traditionalist in terms of flagging colors. So I flag red on the left, yellow on the left and right. You know, I've been known to experiment with other things, but those are kind of my main colors. I love red and yellow. I was coming here and I wore an orange on the left yesterday.
Oh, anything everywhere.
Someone said to me, they're like, oh, isn't orange a little scary to be flagging in Berlin? And I said, I love the fact that it opens you up to so many possibilities. Your night will definitely be an adventure. So.
Okay. So what prompted you to run for leather title or rubber?
Rubber title in my case, right?
In your case, title in general.
No worries. So I'm from Chicago, like I said, and I competed in a regional title before Mr. International Rubber. And so my first title I won was Mr. Midwest Rubber. And the Midwest is great. I love my hometown. I love my home community. Chicago has a great rubber scene, but it's expanding. There are rubber scenes in Minneapolis and great kink communities all throughout the Midwest. So I was super excited to be able to present myself and also represent the Midwest, which sometimes gets overlooked in terms of kink. And that was sort of like my motivation to run, is I wanted to be able to show everybody that you can be who you want to be and that the Midwest will embrace you for that.
Is there anything that you would change if you or do over if you could for running for title?
Oh goodness. Well, in time, I guess I've learned to find a lot of confidence in who I am. When I first started out, I think I was a little unsure of myself. I know my aesthetic, and it's not everyone's cup of tea. And it was intimidating at first, going out and presenting myself and making a really bold statement about who I am as a rubberman. And I think I wished when I first started out that I had a little bit more confidence to say, fuck everybody, I love who I am, and I'm embracing that, and the people that support me love me too. So I think that's what it's about, being genuine.
What are you hoping to accomplish as a title holder?
Well, my title is coming to an end. My title's up in November, so I've been going for quite some time this year. My major things that I wanted to accomplish were pardon. Obviously, like I said earlier, just being bold, being out there, being really genuine of who I am, and allowing people to see that and embrace the sense of diversity, I think, that comes from the rubber community and from the fetish community in general. I think it's also really important to me to respect my community and my roots. I love the Midwest, and every chance I get, even if I'm in Europe, I love to talk up my home community, so that's awesome. And the last thing that I've tried to impart to people is that being a community member and being a title holder in particular is more than just wearing a sash and going out to a bunch of parties. It's actually making a concrete difference. So it's really important to me to go to events, but also volunteer and do a lot of community service. So.
Okay. Are women and trans welcomed or supported by your club?
Absolutely. So I belong to Chicago Rubbermen, and it's certainly a welcoming community. Although we identify as rubbermen, and the vast majority of our members are rubbermen. We have rubber women that come into events in Chicago. But Chicago's community as a whole is super embracing of leather women. We have great leather women that are on the board of the Leather Archives and Museum, which is located in Chicago. And I have a lot of leather female friends in the community, so I think that's important to embrace and acknowledge that diversity.
Okay. As a title holder, I know you're mostly dealing rubber.
Yes.
But how do you view your boot blacks? And do you feel they have an equal role to you in your leather, kink, and rubber?
I love my boot blacks. I'm great friends with Eric, the current IMBB, and I love my boot blacks. They're like the youngest title holders ever. They're such babies, but they're adorable, and they're great people. I personally don't own a lot of leather, and so I don't really have much use for my boot blacks at the moment. But my partner Jerry he's a leatherman, and we both embrace our boot blacks. They are amazing service to the community, We support them, we stand with them, and I'm really particularly excited to see a shift in the community in terms of embracing boot blacks and the service that they bring to the community. They're invaluable people.
Okay. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to someone new to the community or to someone who's looking to be a title holder?
So new to the community, I would say, while I appreciate and value social media, and I think that's a great way to connect with people, particularly if you live in a small town or a remote area, embrace your local community. Whether that's going to your local leather bar, your local fetish bar, joining a club or an organization that seems like you have common interests with, because that's our lifeblood, that's our culture, and if people don't support their bars and they don't support their local groups, they fade into history. And I want to be sure that people acknowledge that history and embrace that part of the community. So I would say for new people, seek out your local community. Don't just resort to being online. And I would say for people that are interested in the title, run. It's been an amazing experience. It's opened up so many doors for me. I've gotten a chance to meet people from all around the world, which I love. But I think it's just really important that title holders be true to who they are and realize that you're doing a service to your community. And so I think it's really important to keep that in mind and make sure that you are of service and that you embrace the diversity of the community.
Okay. Yesterday, you attended a conference.
Yes.
Where one of the topics was on chemsex.
Yes.
How has chemsex and your knowledge of it has affected and effected the community that you serve?
Absolutely. So in Chicago, I mean, and like most major cities around the world, chemsex is the problem. It's an ongoing issue in the gay community as a whole. Certainly it affects the gay fetish community. I think it's, I give amazing respect to the gentleman that got up and shared his story with us. I think it's really important to speak openly and honestly about these issues with our community, and I think it's with that open communication that we can support each other and help improve the situation. I think when we demonize and when we shame people for choices of using drugs or alcohol during sex, I think that's when it goes underground and it creates more of an issue. And so hopefully by speaking openly and honestly about it, we're able to combat that a little bit.
What can you do as a title holder, and even not as a title holder, to help bring awareness to your community on this issue?
On chemsex specifically? It's certainly an issue that many of our local title holders have taken on, and it's an issue that I care about and support, but that I'm not directly affected by. But I think it's important, whatever issue that you choose to take on, that you're open, you're honest about it, you appreciate the diversity of responses that you might get, and I think by having that conversation and by making those connections, that you're able to sort of to at least bring it to light and help address some of that issue.
Okay.
That was a roundabout answer. I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
That's appropriate,
we do have one more question for you. And you know, sex is very much a partner to leather, kink, rubber, of course, and Folsom. What are the ways you use to keep yourself safe?
Sure. I think safety. Safety is a word that gets tossed around a bit, right? And everybody has a different level of safety and comfort. And in the kink community, that certainly varies from person to person. So I think the safest thing that you can do is have a conversation with whoever that you're choosing to engage in sex with. Talk openly about your status. Know your status. If you don't know it, it's super easy to find resources that can test for you, and being open and honest with yourself, with your sex partners, and the type of sex that you choose to have. And by having that conversation with the individual that you're going to have sex with, not only do you gain a little bit more insight about that person, and hopefully it's a hell of a lot hotter, right? But I think that conversation allows you to make better choices.
And what's your opinion on PrEP?
PrEP has been around for quite some time in our community. I'm a super supporter of PrEP. I'm HIV positive. My partner Jerry is on PrEP. He's HIV negative. We use it in our daily lives. So I think it's something that's really great. It's a great resource. Not everyone agrees with it, but I see it as a tool that's super useful in combating a serious issue that's affected our community for so long. And I want every resource available to everybody in our community. So if that's PrEP for you, if that's condoms for you, if that's consensual conversations, safety is there and available.
Well, thank you very much. Enjoy your rest of your Folsom, and we'll see you back in the States.
Happy Folsom. Cheers.
Cheers.